Are you guys good skiers?
I hate skiing. I
No,
despise it.
You know what this means? It means that we were all probably raised very modestly. You know, my parents didn't take me skiing.
Yeah.
Well, my parents took us skiing when we were little.
Really?
To learn.
Downhill?
Well, you can't go uphill. It's impossible. And
What was that, Erickson? What was
Cross
that?
country skiing. We would cross country.
Cross country skiing's not skiing.
To teach
Okay.
kids?
That's
Well,
that's walking.
We'd go on
the ski.
trails and stuff. We would in Wisconsin. That's all you had. We're all flat.
Cross country skiing is, I don't even understand how that's a thing. Look, this is so when we went when we were little, my dad, first of all, none of us skied, by the way. We were all going for the very first time. So we were all learning together on the bunny slope. My parents and me and my sister. It's not cute because my dad took out they have those orange nettings at the side to separate he took out the entire orange netting. And
Your dad?
Yeah, he took out the whole orange netting all the way down the hill, and he goes, "All right, I'm done." That was it. And you know what? I could not agree more. It's just awful. My friends would go skiing, and they'd invite me, and I went a few times. And every time I went, I'm never doing this again because it's not social. You don't talk to anyone because you can't. It's freezing. It's horribly awkward to move around in the skis, and the boots hurt. And then you wait forever to go into to go up to the ski lift, and then you go up there. And
that sounds miserable. I agree.
It's miserable, and it's expensive on top. You're spending a ton of money to do this miserable activity. We went. My one buddy, his bachelor party was up in what the hell are those mountains in Montreal? Whatever the hell. Yeah, that's where we went because he wanted to go to a skiing bachelor party.
I forgot.
Mount Tremblant. And we went up there, and I literally was there for half a day the first day, and I went, I'll see you guys at the lodge. I can't do this. I went up the ski lift, and my ski fell off while I'm in the top of the ski lift. It fell off. It went down to the mountain. And I went, what am I supposed to do now? How do I go up this lift with one ski?
Snowboard.
No, I face planted. I basically face planted just to get off the lift, and I went, you know what? I took off the ski, and I walked there. And I was done. I'll see you guys back at the lodge.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the FTS podcast, Friends Talking Shop. I'm your host, Dave, along with two other hosts that are with me, and glad to be back. It's been a little bit of a hiatus since our last episode. We're in the holiday season, and it's hard to align our schedules and everything, but we're back with an episode, maybe a holiday episode. Should we?
It could
call
be.
this the official. All right.
Yeah, it could be.
Welcome to episode number 35, the holiday special of Friends Talking Shop. Let me introduce my other co-hosts that are with me here today, as usual. First, I'll reach out to Josh, who's in Philadelphia. How are you doing today, Josh?
I am doing well. Things are good. And based on this holiday episode, I'll tell you real quick. Remember we talked about Christmas cards last week. And I have fortunately convinced my wife not to do it this year. So this will be our first year not doing it.
Wow.
Which is very exciting. But we did get a card the other day with they had the kid on Santa's lap. Now I want to Omar, this doesn't apply to you, but Dave, when your kids were little, did you take them to the mall and put them on Santa's lap?
We did it occasionally. It wasn't like a annual ritual that we did, but we did it at times. Yeah.
Yeah. It's still my wife did it a couple times with my kids when they were little, but it's just do you realize how many small Santas have criminal records? Do you know that?
Do you have data on this?
Yes,
yeah,
I do.
I think that's a feeling. Are you sure you have that?
In fact, there is no law. I looked this up. There's no law that requires background checks for mall Santas.
Yeah.
None. No law. And that is amazing because it's parents today how concerned they are with everything their kids do. And if they just for some reason with mall Santas, here you go, little Betty, plop, assault and battery.
You know what?
Right on this guy's lap.
I'm in Colorado right now.
B&E, breaking and entering, no problem. Go sit on his lap.
People, and I've been asked even last night a few times, what do I do for a living? I'm gonna just start going with mall Santa. I just love saying that.
Well, mall, but I told my wife then, she's like, well, they're mall Santas. They're nice people. I'm like, no, who do you think wants to be? No one wants to be a mall Santa. It's, either you're old and retired and that's cool, or you have no choice, because you've been shut out of everything else. It's not a glorious job, mall Santa, and I'm sure it doesn't pay that well either.
Well, it's not an unsafe environment. You're right out in the middle of the mall. Like everyone's staring at you. You've got
true
cameras for evidence if there's a problem.
So, but let me ask you this: if you knew the guy that was playing Santa spent 2 years in the Slammer for B&E, would you put your kid on his lap?
I would.
B&E, I'd do it. Yeah, B&E is fine.
And B&E's all right.
There's some crimes I would be.
What about armed robbery? Armed robbery, you put him on his lap?
All right, so it's getting a little bit dicier. Assault, and now we're getting there's a few crimes that I might steer
There's
away
a
from.
lot of mall Santas with really bad felonies.
Yeah.
Not murder, obviously, or they'd be in prison, but still. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. Do you think there are any mall Santas that have had like a really successful career and they're retired? They're just doing great, and they just want to be a mall Santa.
There might be one unicorn like that.
I think they're all mall Santas because of poor decisions they made in their life.
100%.
Hold on a second. Do you think being a mall Santa in and of itself is a negative experience? Do you think it's joyful? Like teachers like teaching little kids, right? Yeah.
Teaching is different. When you're talking about being a mall Santa, you think of it when you say, is it joyful? It might be the first day you do it with the first 3, 4, 5 kids. But these mall Santas are doing it for an entire month of December, and they're doing it for hours on end. It's not. Yeah. It's the joyfulness probably goes away real quick.
I think that's right.
Yeah.
Do
you think there's like a LeBron James of mall Santas?
No. I think there's a Patrick Beverly of mall Santas, and that's most of them.
See, I think the problem with being a mall Santa, there's 2 main reasons why it would stink: kids and parents. Like I can't imagine a volume of kids and parents experience would be pleasant at all.
Horrible.
And then you got they're all germ factories, little kids that are on your lap. So these mall Santas must have life expectancy of 6 months after Christmas. But
it's a horrible gig, and that's why people who are in desperate situations are the ones taking it. And it's amazing that parents still put their kids on the lap of convicted felons.
Well, how about this? There are some Santas you can rent that come to your house and drop off gifts, right?
That's different.
Now, a B&E charge, I guess I don't want that Santa coming.
No.
In that capacity. But sitting on a chair in the middle of the mall, a B&E, I'd probably be fine.
I have no data on the Santas that you have to rent out. Those Santas, I don't know what their criminal past is. I don't know what the hell Omar's doing.
Yeah, are you moving?
He's rearranging furniture. He has moved his camera to his floor. What are you doing?
I want to sit next to the fireplace.
We had like 15 minutes of prep.
We had so much,
and you had all that time to do it.
So much time for you to get comfortable.
Or in anything. Maybe I should have turned the camera off.
Distracting.
I'm just thinking about the mall Santa thing. And look, I think if I was a really good mall Santa, I could demand a higher price.
You could not.
Known.
You could not. You think the mall's got the money to burn?
Yeah, there's no negotiation. Yeah.
Are you nuts?
You're a price
why would they want you, the Pakistani mall Santa, when they can go out and get some other normal milk toast white dude for half the price? For half the price.
Well, that's true.
That's so typical of Omar's belief in his skills. Like mall Santa, me, I'd be the best. I think Roofer, I'd be the best.
Yeah, he's the best. He's the best at everything. It's amazing.
No. I'm very good with children. Like not like Michael Jackson good, but like I'm very engaged.
Yeah, you're excellent.
You're missing the point. I don't think there's a really long and arduous interview process here for the mall Santas.
You don't think there is?
Now, are you a little overweight? Can you fit into this outfit? You're hired.
Yeah, right.
You're hired.
Well,
it's more like here's what we're paying. Do you want it or not?
Yeah,
that's you're on time. You're fired.
Yeah. And don't tell me about your record. La 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 la. Finger in my ears. La la la.
Right. All right. Well, that was Josh, Mall Santa Josh, and our third host and semi-host with who's sitting on his lap is Omar from Colorado. This episode. How are you doing, Omar?
I'm good. Which one of us? I'm doing well. Are you guys particularly festive people? Like, do you get festive during the holidays?
No.
Yeah, David, you probably do, right? I could see David Christmas caroling in his neighborhood.
No,
it's too cold to do that. Otherwise, I might do that. Yeah, I'm festive. I celebrate the season. Yeah.
But so you have a tree up.
I have it. Yeah, we have 2 trees up.
Two trees.
Two
we
trees.
Have 2
wow.
trees. Yeah.
We are a tree up. By the way, we went fake tree. Best move in the world. Best move in the world.
2 fake trees.
Tree. Oh,
no, I like the smell of the tree, though.
No, it's
nice.
terrible. I hate the smell of the tree. I don't like it.
No, I don't. I don't do caroling though necessarily. I don't like seeing Christmas lights. I think that is
that's interesting.
There's a couple here that's like you gotta buy tickets. You gotta sit in your car and get in line, and then what you see is just Christmas lights. It's like
we have a place like that too, where you buy tickets and you go and you walk around. You see and I'm like, and we went the last year, and we're like, okay, it's nice like the first 10 minutes. You're like, wow, this looks really nice, and then I don't need to see more. It's like it's more of the same,
right?
And then my wife goes, we should go back this year. I go, well, why? We saw it. What do you think they're going to do differently?
See the Santa outlined in lights one more time.
I don't need to see that.
Right. I mean, look, Avatar is coming out this weekend, and they spent $1 billion on those special effects.
Isn't that crazy?
Why are we looking at Christmas lights? Like, why are we impressed by that? That's
a good point.
Sakes.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
So, do you like the music, Dave? Do you listen to a lot of Christmas music? Omar, do you listen to Christmas music?
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, okay. I think in the context of the whole season, and I think what I like about Christmas is the time off. Really, it's the gifts, it's the time off.
The gifts are great.
But that's what I'm like. Oh, the Christmas music means we're getting a week off soon.
David, you're receiving gifts?
Yeah. Yes. You don't receive gifts?
No, I hardly ever get anything.
Oh, wow, that's sad.
That's sad.
Do you want us to send you something?
No.
Oh, good.
I mean, if you want.
Let's play back that no. I feel like it's
no.
Yeah, I mean.
But you have to admit though, the music, they start it way too early. They're starting it so early that it burns it out for me by the time Christmas rolls around. I can't hear Jingle Bells from December 1st all the way to December 23rd.
I think those have aged remarkably well, Christmas songs.
I'm going to tell you why they haven't, and I'm going to stick it right to you. I'm going to stick it right to you. And if Christmas music was so good and you liked it that much, you'd listen year round. But you don't.
I disagree.
Oh, come on.
You don't.
It's so lovely.
I think you're onto something. That the reason we do like it as much as we do is because it only comes around once a year. It's not all the time. But I don't think because you like it, then it should be all.
Okay.
That's why it's all wrapped up into one. You like it because it's just
fair.
Associated with the season.
You have to. Although I was at a I can't remember where I was the other day, but they were oh God, I don't remember. But they're playing Christmas music, right? In the background, and it's on a loop. It's nonstop. It's not even like a radio station which has commercials. It's just Christmas music, like in digital form. And the person who worked there, I just kept thinking like, wow, this person comes into this store and has to listen to Christmas music for whatever the shift is, 8-9 hour shift every single day. Wouldn't that drive you? Any music, forget about Christmas music. Yeah. And imagine if you just had to listen to just opera every single day for 8 hours, or the same 30 songs, whatever they are, pop, rock, it doesn't matter. The same 30 songs over and over and over. That would drive you nuts.
Well, I can one up you on that. My son worked at a movie theater, and he worked at the concession stand. Yeah. And like right next to where he stood was an advertisement, and they would play trailers. Oh. And it was 3 trailers on a loop over and over and over. And one of them was like Medea's something or other. I don't understand those movies.
There's a couple of those movies.
But it was like, and I would come in, and I came in, he's like, this is the song. And it would be kind of this, and it was just like that for a minute, and would play every 5 minutes for 8 hours. And he was like ready to like kill everyone.
Torture.
Yeah.
It's why whenever I go to restaurants or anywhere, movie theaters, I always try and engage the people who are working there and make them laugh, so they have some differentiation from the monotony of their day.
Isn't it amazing how this all comes back to you and what good you do?
No, but this happened to me last week. So I went to this restaurant, and there were these two women working at the front, girls working at the front, and they couldn't have been less interested in being there. And I was trying to be engaging. They weren't really. Nothing was hitting, you know. And then a third woman comes over and goes, your table's ready. And I'm like, okay, great. So as I'm going over there, actually, Josh, I just finished talking to you, as a matter of fact.
Oh yes, yeah.
And during that call, David, I had went to an ATM in New York and got a bunch of money out because I don't want to.
Oh, you told, yeah, that's right.
I took out. I'm on the road for the next 3 weeks. I took out $2,000.
That's weird.
Half cash
in 20s,
right?
Yeah.
So I get to the restaurant. The woman comes over to tell me to the table. I'm like, you want to know what? I'm going to give them a tip. So I gave one of them $20. One of the two girls. Even that was awkward. I'm walking away and I'm like, oh,
yeah, no. That's weird for doing nothing. You just gave.
I should have given one to the other one too. Like, I'm going to go back. I should do that. I turn around. I grab another 20 out of the stack, and I realized very quickly it's not 20s. It's $100 bills. So I'd given the first girl $100.
$100.
And I'm up. I'm looking at the second girl with a $100 bill in my hand, and I'm like, I have to give this to her.
No, you don't.
And so I gave it to her.
What are you doing?
I turned around again, and I go, I'm going to say something. So I turned around. I go, girls, just so you know, I thought those were 20s. It's the holidays. Merry Christmas. It's actually a really funny story. So enjoy yours. And but I'm not a mobster. I was just trying to tip you guys.
Or a creep.
Or a creep. Yeah, exactly. But I will say. And then they said, oh no, thank you so much. Do you need coat check? And by the way, do you want to sit in a booth? And they put me in a really good booth.
And coat check. High roller.
Yeah. So it did work.
Yeah, it did work. It only cost you $200 to check your coat.
Did you get bread before?
Although it was a business dinner actually, so it actually was a good investment.
Good deal. All right. Well,
but I will say both of those girls are going to be talking about that part of their day.
Of course they are.
It made their day.
Some schmuck gave me $100. Thought it was
versus you giving somebody pound cake.
I was this close to calling the police. Is in their story?
Yeah, it was awkward.
It's amazing how they didn't go, do you want 80 back?
I got change.
You want change for this? Yeah, that's awesome.
They didn't offer that.
Well, let's kick off the episode here. We've got Omar's got a short period of time. But just real quick, if what our podcast is all about is the three of us come together and we talk about a topic that we did not discuss ahead of time, and we riff on it and talk about it and solve problems if it's a problem. So we will do that next year shortly, but every once in a while we'll get emails so that you can ask us a question. And we actually got one this week, which I'd like to start off with.
We tackle that now?
And then we'll roll in. It rolls into my topic. So I thought we would just kind of do the whole thing.
Ooh,
so
that.
How efficient I am. But first of all, just in case you would like to email us, just like this a family of fans, I think is probably the best way to describe it.
Yeah.
Our email address is friends@fts.media. Friends, maybe that's a good 2023 resolution, is to get a new email address.
I disagree. This one's taken off.
All right,
we've gotten ones and ones and ones of emails, so I don't know if we want to disturb that.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Ones upon ones. So, all right, friends@fts.media. Please send us emails. We'd love to hear from you. We did get an email this week, and I think it's asking a good question. So hopefully you guys are ready to respond to this question. Okay. But I first got to get into something a little bit before I do this. I won't mention any names, but this, I'll just call him Good Looking Boy A. All right, has requested that for the last show of 2022, each of you share your favorite TV show and movie of the year. It's almost like a Christmas letter without all the stuff that Josh hates, which I think is great. But before I get into that and see what your answers are, I just need to address our response.
I love that.
So this was our response back to this listener who so graciously emailed us. Dear Mrs. Family, the guys generally appreciate your fandom and your enthusiasm for the show. However, they were just featured in a prominent industry publication. In short, FTS is the future of podcasting, and Dave, Josh, and Omar are on the cusp of greatness. So you can tell this good-looking boy, whoever he may be, that these guys don't take orders from anyone, let alone someone who appears to be fictional and afraid to send an email himself. This isn't PBS hour. Good day, ma'am. So now a couple of problems I have with this.
You have to say it like this. Good day, ma'am.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. First of all, we want emails.
Yes.
Why are
yes.
you yelling at the one upon one that emailed us?
It's not me. It's management. It's our agent.
That was from management.
Yeah,
okay,
from
well,
FTS management.
that's what it says.
We've since fired that individual. That was
Okay.
a horribly disgraceful email reply.
Well, the second thing is if FTS management responds to email, they need to CC the other.
That's the other problem
directors.
with this guy. That's the other.
Because you can't respond from our email address and we'll not see it. So you have to CC the rest of us. Just that's a housekeeping issue
that's a
that
good
we just
point,
need to
good
get.
point.
So anyway,
next guy we hire.
all right. Well, not only are we going to answer this question, we're going to fix our management structure a bit. Favorite movie and TV show of 2022. Omar went off camera, so Josh.
Omar, are you there?
I'm here. I'm listening.
All right. Stop moving around because you're screwing up the Wi-Fi and taking yourself off camera.
Okay.
All right. What is the question, Dave?
So, Josh, favorite TV show, favorite movie of the year.
Yeah. See, so I saw the email come in. I thought, okay, let me think about this. And so the TV show is pretty easy for me. I'm thinking, okay, there were a lot of good TV shows in 2022.
Yeah.
So the favorite one is tough, but I've narrowed it down to 3 that I loved in 2022. So Better Call Saul was their final season. It was phenomenal. Absolutely loved it. House of the Dragon, the first season was great. 2022 show. And then Stranger Things. It's always good. Maybe Stranger Things is a distant second to Saul and Dragon. But for the TV
What
show.
is House of the Dragon?
House of the Dragon is like the prequel to Game of Thrones.
Oh, I'm watching. Yeah. Oh God.
You never heard of it? Are you living in a hole?
I know. I'm trying to watch it. It's very difficult. It's very arduous.
Why?
Which part? The Game of Thrones?
House of Dragons.
Why is it arduous?
First of all, I thought it was going to be a Bruce Lee series.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with Bruce Lee. He's not.
But I don't know. I'm just not into it. It's not.
Did you like Game of Thrones?
Yes, very much.
Then you'll love House of Dragon.
After 4 episodes, hasn't taken quite yet.
Oh,
all right.
I just. What about movie, Josh?
So this is the problem. I then started to think, like, what movies did I love in 2022? And I don't think I've seen one movie, like a real movie, in 2022.
Yeah.
And I started thinking about it. I started to go back, like, what did I watch that was kind of a movie? And most of the stuff I watched that was like in movie form were like long documentaries.
Would you have a favorite one of those?
Yeah, so I mean, I loved the John Wayne Gacy tapes. That was really good. I don't know if you saw that on Netflix. Tinder Swindler. I love that type of stuff. That was fascinating. These documentaries are great. The Woodstock '99 documentary. If you haven't seen that, that's awesome.
All the mud. Yep.
Yeah, but that's it. I could not think. And then so I went and said, okay. I looked on Google, like, what were the best movies in 2022? I've seen none of them. None of them. It was a list of like 50. I've seen none.
Yeah, I went actually along those lines as I went on Rotten Tomatoes and got the best movies from ranking and had to get down to 15 before I saw a movie I even like recognized, much less seen.
Yeah, that's true too. I didn't even know these movies existed.
Yeah, so it's funny because my entertainment is through TV shows. It really is like, and even if I have a night to myself, do I want to watch a movie or something? No, I want to watch TV shows. It's so changed. But Omar, how about you? What's your best of 22?
So I think when it comes to movies, it was that movie with what was her name? Tilda Swinton, and that very handsome black man. You know what I'm talking about? This movie?
Well, is there a triangle in the name? It's like kind of an artsy movie.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. 3,000 Years of Longing.
That's it. Yeah.
Never even heard of it.
Phenomenal. It was a movie where she plays this very like well-rounded, happy, successful woman who happens to fall into a genie bottle, and she rubs it, and just by mistake, and Idris Elba plays the genie.
Is this based on a true story?
And it comes out of and he says you get 3 wishes, and she's like, I don't want 3 wishes. I'm very content. He goes, well, until I get 3 wishes, I'm forever linked to the lamp. And he walks through different things historically where he almost got the 3 and then couldn't get there. And then, so anyway, so it was just a beautiful movie. Very well.
Okay, first of all, no one turns down 3 wishes. So you've already lost
That's
me.
why it was so interesting.
Nobody turns down 3 wishes. You can even make altruistic wishes that don't even benefit you, and you wouldn't do that. You're a real asshole if you turn down 3 wishes, quite honestly. And it's not even like I want to be the wealthiest person in the world or I want to be famous. Even if you said I want to solve homelessness, that's a wish that you should make if you don't even really want anything for yourself.
Do you know
this movie angers me. I've never even seen it.
Do you know the wish loophole?
No. Wish for more wishes.
I wish I wish that every time I wish for something, it comes true. That's the.
Oh, that's better than wish for more wishes.
Yeah, I read a short story one time about like I think it's a genie or Satan came with someone and said you get one wish, but it can't be that one. Like it can't be more wishes, or it's got to be legit. Like they pointed out that they covered the loophole. But if you just get 3 wishes without any disclaimer, go that route.
That's
I
what
want
you
to
go
wish
for.
everything. Yeah. All my wishes come true.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that they've already thought about that. You can't do that when you make wishes. That's like, you know what I mean? Like
who's they? Who's they thought it? Is there a regulatory agency that we don't know about wishes, genie wishes?
The SEC. Yeah, won't allow it.
That's right.
No, but they have enough instances where they're like, hey, that's not allowed. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right. Well, what about TV show, Omar?
For TV shows, I really enjoyed one that I watched recently called Wednesday. Did you guys watch that?
No,
From the
never
Addams
heard of
Family spinoff thing?
Yeah. And I
Ah.
never even watched the Addams Family, you know? I could never get into it. But
interesting.
It
I
was
was always a Munsters guy over the Addams Family. I love the Munsters, not so much the Addams Family.
Yeah,
it was a show about it's just about the daughter Wednesday, and she goes to school, this like kind of Harry Potter-esque school, but her personality and her demeanor is just phenomenal. She's incredibly dry and droll and what's the word? Macabre.
I think
it's just macabre.
Macabre. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
We could all be wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's
that's what the email's for.
It might be macabre actually.
But
I just loved it. I found it to be incredibly endearing too.
What's it on, Omar? Is it on Netflix?
It's on Netflix.
Okay. Yeah, maybe I'll check that out.
And then I really like Chainsaw Man. And
Chainsaw Man.
Chainsaw Man, yeah. So Chainsaw Man is like an anime where this guy is like chilling, and he has a pet demon. And it's a world where demons exist. And his particular demon was kind of like a puppy, but it had a chainsaw coming out of it. Anyway, long story short is they both kind of die, and the puppy saves them. So they integrate their DNA. So he becomes a Chainsaw Man because the puppy's basically inside of him now. And so when he gets really upset, he can like pull a ripcord from his chest, and a chainsaw comes out of both of his hands and his face.
Is this based on a true story?
Well, and then they fight demons in the show, and there's like a task force. It's set in Tokyo. That's like really, really, I love that one. That's really good.
Chainsaw Man.
Sounds like a winner.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And I really like The Patient.
I did see that.
I don't know that one either.
It's Steve Carell.
Yeah, with Steve Carell.
Yeah,
where he plays a therapist who is kidnapped by one of his patients who happens to be a serial killer.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
Yeah,
that's a TV show.
Yeah, on Hulu as well.
Oh, I'd watch that.
But he has him captive until he can help him become a better person.
Kind of like a Misery.
Yeah.
Remember Misery?
Kind of. Yeah.
It's very similar. Okay.
Right.
So
So who had the best ones, Dave? Is there a competition?
It's
my turn. It's my turn.
Dave hasn't said anything
yet. I'll tell you the best ones because I'm going to tell you mine. I
mean, Josh's were basically like every TV show that's the most popular show Josh liked.
You didn't ask what the most obscure show was that you loved. You asked what was your favorite.
I know which one you liked. Yeah. Josh is like represents Middle America. Sorry.
It reflects your personalities. Yeah. I'll start with movies first because I did have a hard time. I could only come up with 5 that I would put on a list.
That's amazing you came up with that many.
I did look up on Rotten Tomatoes, and they're all ranked in the high 80s to 90s. So I'm also not flying against the grain. But there's a clear winner with the movie. But just to, I thought the Batman movie was pretty good.
Didn't see it.
I watched this movie Barbarian, which is a horror movie, which was really fun.
Didn't see it.
Prey is the
you told us about that.
Predator was excellent.
Didn't see
and then the top 2, and this would have been the top one in any other year, was Everything Everywhere All at Once. I'm
Never
telling
heard
you,
of
you
it.
guys
Yeah.
have to see that. It's excellent.
I haven't watched that one yet, and I'm really
I've
looking
never
forward
even
to
heard of it.
I love her, Michelle Wu.
Yo, I think.
Yo,
Yeah. My son watched it. It's his favorite movie of all time, I think. So it's
Okay.
great.
I'll
But
check that
my
out.
number one movie of the year, by far, it's the only movie I've seen twice in decades, is Top Gun.
Top Gun.
Top Gun.
Top Gun
I
is so the music,
still
it's
haven't
just
seen it.
it's so great.
Yeah, I'll watch
Um,
it.
But for TV shows, I had so many. I have a top 10.
A top
Everybody ever heard
10?
Yeah. So tell me
Jeez.
if you've seen. So
Go ahead.
number 10 is The Rehearsal.
Loved
with
it.
Yeah.
Nathan Fielder.
Nathan Fielder.
Did you
That's
watch Nathan? Have you ever seen his first show, Nathan for You?
I
Yeah,
have
Nathan
started.
Fielder.
Yeah, that's
Great.
my travel. on
Rehearsal
airplane
is
show.
the most. It's the most awkward. He is so good at those awkward conversations.
He is a genius. Who
He's
could think of
genius.
this? Who could
Yeah.
think of this? It's
Well, you have to
amazing.
wonder if what he's doing is staged in some way. Is that all real? Because it's so awkwardly weird
Yes.
that I love, but it's
I think it's
Yes.
real.
Yes.
oh man.
For our listeners, this is a gentleman named Nathan Fielder, and he just does this kind of like pseudo reality experimental society type of situation. And his latest one's called The Rehearsal.
Yeah,
It's on HBO.
It's very good. Yeah, it's
Really good.
It would take a long time to describe it. We don't have.
Yes,
enough
it
time,
would.
but
It would.
Definitely
actually.
check it out. Number 9 is Andor. That's the Star Wars.
Yep, right.
That was great. 8 is Better Call Saul.
Yeah.
7 is Rings of Power, the Lord of the Rings show.
Oh, I like that.
Okay.
Really good. Number 6, Blackbird. It's an Apple TV show. It's about this guy that's put into prison to try to get a serial killer to admit he's killed these people.
Oh.
Blackbird. White Lotus. Have you watched this?
Oh
White
yeah,
No,
Lotus?
it was
I've
very
heard a
good.
ton
I watched
about
season
it.
1.
Yeah.
That was
It's
very good.
great. I love it.
Yeah.
Number 4, The Bear.
I didn't watch
But,
that. That's about the
I have
chef,
one
right?
friend who raves about that show and another friend who hates it.
It's great. I think you guys would love it. Number 3 is Severance. That's
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Apple
heard that's
TV.
really good. I heard
Yep.
that's good.
Number 2, this one is, I think, one of my favorites, but it's probably not anyone's list, is Winning Time: The Rise of the Lakers Dynasty. I got to
Yeah.
tell you, that was such a great show, and the actor they got for Magic Johnson,
Johnson,
is
yeah.
unbelievable. He can
Yeah,
play
he's good.
basketball. He's like 6'9".
He's good. He's
and
good.
he looks like Magic Johnson. It's
Yeah.
crazy. And my number 1 is House of Dragon. I thought House of Dragon.
Yes,
was
it's great.
Awesome.
It's fantastic.
so-
Absolutely fantastic.
That is about as middle-aged white guy list as I can think of.
It's
Star
pretty-
Chainsaw
Wars,
Man is
Lord of
better
the
than
Rings.
all those shows.
Yeah,
Chain-
Death Note was a honorable mention.
Death Note. Dude, Death Note's won awards, by the way.
Listen,
It
everything's
has.
won awards.
No, but like real publications, like legit.
Yeah. No,
Well,
I,
you can
I
Google it.
it's
All right.
quite popular with the tweens. Um,
No, it's adult anime, dude. That's why it says anime with an
Okay.
A for adult.
well, this also leads into my second part of the topic, which I think I can squeeze in here, is my wife and daughter are doing a project this Christmas season, holiday season, and it is to watch Christmas movies and they listed all the different tropes of what you think happen in Christmas movies, and then they
like those Lifetime movies, those
Lifetime,
Hallmark crappy movies. My wife
they
loved.
have covered quite a few movies.
Oh,
I
they're
won't say how
terrible.
many, but there
They're
are quite a
terrible.
few. But they put on the tropes that they think are in, and then they've tracked them,
Yeah.
and they've gotten to the top tropes of Christmas movies.
Wow.
So, I'll read them off to you, and you can.
When
tell
you
me
say
if you think-
tropes, do you mean like trope meaning like, well, they hate each other in high school and the one comes back
exactly
to the
It's
town? That's what you mean. Okay.
a
All right.
repeatable.
Yes.
know,
Repeatable
but-
storyline. Yeah.
Yeah, right. All right. So, and
Go
then
ahead.
I'd be curious if you can think of any others. So, I don't know these are in particular, but a work trip.
Yeah.
Some stuck-up person's going on a work trip and
Yes.
has come. People who are enemies become lovers.
Yes. That's half of them.
You always have a wise old person
Yeah.
in
Yes.
there. Small town, a lot of small town.
Always small town.
Meddling family.
Yes.
You have to have meddling family in there.
Yeah.
So a happy ending. That's I can't
That's all of
imagine a
them.
dark Christmas.
That's every
movie,
single one of them.
That's you're betting 1,000 on that one. A
Except
couple
Chainsaw Man Christmas. That one ended poorly.
couple falls in love. That's
That's everyone. Couple falls in love.
miscommunication.
Everyone.
Miscommunication, which I always like miscommunication. If someone talks about Three's Company, I always say, did you see that one episode where they have Jack gets confused on miscommunication and something bad happens as
That's
a result.
every 80s sitcom. Have you like one person's saying something and the other person thinks they're talking about something that they're not talking about.
Right, exactly.
Yes,
That's
every
every
80s
Three's Company
sitcom.
episode.
Yes.
Dead Mother, unfortunately.
Yeah,
That's
Dead
the-
Mother. Yeah.
The Dead Mother must not be at the end of the movie, otherwise you wouldn't have a happy ending.
Beginning. And that's Disney too. By the way, a lot of Disney movies, dead parents.
Yeah, almost every is single parent.
Yes.
You're right.
Yes.
Right. Especially from like Little Mermaid on.
Bambi started it.
Well, Finding Nemo, they murder the
mother
for first scene.
Yeah.
Special item.
Special item. What does that mean?
I guess that might be a Christmas gift or
okay.
something. And then impending huge life decision. That's
always.
Always. So,
you know what you left off of there?
All right. Yeah. That's any more.
Yes. Always one person who just hates the holidays is a big curmudgeon.
Yeah, that's good.
And then by the end they come around.
Right.
Well, and there's always a bully.
Bully's a good one too.
That's
a good one too.
Right. Gets their comeuppance.
My favorite Christmas movie of all time, by far, is Just Friends.
I don't even know what that is.
Friends. You don't know that movie? You haven't watched it? Oh
No.
my God!
The best Christmas movie of all time is
so
Die Hard,
lucky.
and no one can.
Die Hard is where I
the
have
best.
too. Just Friends is with Ryan Reynolds.
No, I'm not gonna watch it. You already lost me.
No, this is before he became like really well known. It's really, really good. You would love it, Josh.
No, I wouldn't. It sounds terrible. Is Matt Damon in it?
No.
Then I'm
but
not
he
watching.
plays a character where in high school he was just really overweight and pimply. And then when he got out of high school, he became super handsome, but he still has all those insecurities. Anyway, he ends up having to go back to town. And actually, you know who's in it? Who is hilarious? I bet you guys both love her. Is Anna Faris. She's so good in it.
Oh, is that right? Is she the main?
Like a Britney Spears kind of character. Oh man, she's so good. It's such a.
I mean, this is the one of the worst conversations I've ever had in my life. That sounds terrible. That sounds awful.
That's a Christmas movie story,
that
though.
Sounds terrible. That's like every teen movie where the girl is like a dorky girl and they give her a makeover. Now she's like hot by the end. And,
do you think Josh's brand is like the hater? He just hates everything.
I do hate a lot of stuff. I'm not going to lie about that.
I was thinking about this earlier,
is,
even before you mentioned that. Dave,
yeah, I do hate a lot of stuff.
List of the things that Josh says he hates.
Yeah, I hate way more
things
stuff than
I like,
love.
things you like, things. Yeah. That's by the way, we're not the only ones that don't like Just Friends. The Rotten Tomatoes score is 42%.
It's a crap movie, and I've never seen it.
Look, you guys watch House of Dragons and every day.
House of the Dragon,
popular TV show.
Listen, don't
Top Gun.
I'm being objective. You don't have to get defensive.
And by the way, speaking of this, Christmas Vacation, was a good movie the first 7 times I saw it. Now it's like they're playing it over and over.
Just Friends is still awesome. And by the way, Rotten Tomatoes has a 1-to-1 correlation with you guys in terms of fitting what you guys like with movies.
It's pretty close.
What? Yeah, if
it's
close.
Below 20, it usually is bad. It's above 80, it's usually pretty good. I've rarely. Now, if it's in between, I've had some that I like and some that I don't. But if it's high, it's not a bad.
The only time it loses me is on like dumb comedies because I love a really dumb comedy, and it usually gives them
Just
bad
Friends.
Grades. Well,
that
sounds like,
that's a good point.
I'm telling you, Josh, you'll love it.
It's not going to happen.
So good.
It's not going to happen.
So good.
It's not going to happen.
Actually, wonder what for my Christmas present this year, Josh, from you. Can you watch that movie for me?
That's the Christmas present?
Yeah, I'd like you to watch it.
I'll send you something.
We already watched Death Note. I'd have to say Elf is my favorite Christmas movie. Elf is really
Elf's
good.
really good too.
Elf is fine. I don't
You guys
love
have
Elf.
no curiosity, huh? I'm telling you, this is my favorite movie.
Oh, I feel like
I have no curiosity whatsoever. The way you described it.
No, oh my God, it's so good.
You didn't sell it well at all.
It's so good.
You're
even thinking about it. Maybe I'll watch it.
I don't like rom-coms. I'm not a rom-com guy.
But it's not the traditional rom-com.
Sounds like it is.
It's so good.
Well, speaking of like the comedy, I was looking at my list of TV shows and movies. None of them are comedies. Like if I pick a TV show, like I'm ready to lock down on one, I don't want a comedy. I guess White Lotus would be the closest to being funny.
No, there's certain
comedies. Rehearsal. Maybe
The Rehearsal's a comedy.
The rest are not. I mean, rest are serious shows.
Dramas,
right? Yeah. So it's funny. That seems I always gravitate to, even though I want to watch. I guess if I want to laugh, I just go to a stand-up comedian. Like the situational comedy doesn't.
Or old sitcoms that we grew up on.
I'll watch The Office.
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
kind of
exactly.
stuff. Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway. All right. Who wants to go next here?
I can go.
All right.
So before I go though, I want to tell you guys something. It's just kind of crazy. You know this thing with the FTX guy?
Yes.
Yeah.
So and the woman who ran the other Alameda, Caroline Ellison.
Okay.
Yep.
So
Right.
for our listeners, this is the crypto firm that just went bankrupt with the guy who's going to go to prison, Sam Bankman-Fried. Just
And
arrested.
we should recognize that FTS is not
Yes.
linked in any way.
We
to
are
Yes.
not
FTX.
affiliated.
They're
Completely
two different things.
unaffiliated.
Yeah.
Yes. The FTX, the
Glad that was cleared
fraudulent crypto.
We were talking about FTX, and my daughter was like, "Why do you keep talking about your podcast during work time?" I was like, "No, we were different."
Yeah. So anyway, there's two main sort of like vision who are known to be like the potential culprits, Sam SBF and also Caroline Ellison. So she just hired a defense attorney, right?
Okay.
It's been in the news, whatever. My point is, my sister's best friend 20 years ago was a prosecutor named Stephanie. And Stephanie was her amazing, funny, hilarious, super smart, and was always madly in love with Matt Lauer. Okay. And Matt loved Matt Lauer. This is 20 years ago.
What a tangle
Yes.
web this is.
This is creepy Matt Lauer.
Yeah, this is pre him putting locks on the doors.
Yes.
So my dad, because he grew up, we moved over here from Pakistan. He has trouble saying the name Stephanie, so he'd always call her E Stephanie. E Stephanie, hello E Stephanie, how are you? E Stephanie. So
But
one
he
day,
couldn't say Stephanie, but he
Correct.
could say E Stephanie.
E Stephanie.
That
Yeah,
doesn't make much sense.
yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
No.
So anyway, one day Stephanie's visiting my parents. I'm there, and Matt Lauer's on the screen, and Stephanie's gushing on about him, and my dad goes to her. Stephanie, Matt Lauer is not going to marry you. Why would Matt Lauer marry you, Stephanie? Why? And it was a hilarious moment. Anyway, long story short, today, Stephanie is Caroline Ellison's defense attorney.
Is that right?
Yeah,
th-
Stephanie Vakin. It's
yeah,
amazing.
that's
What does that do with Matt Lauer?
story is
Isn't that a good story?
It's no, it's all over the place.
I'm trying to find the link.
It doesn't have anything to do with anything.
Well, you mentioned we talked about TV earlier, so I'm thinking about Matt
Is
Lauer.
that where that came from?
Yeah,
You have two.
So you tied it in with Matt Lauer?
I don't know. My brain doesn't work properly sometimes.
No, it's not.
I
It's
can
not
get I
working
can get to
well.
my topic though.
Is your topic
So-
about Al Roker?
So when you go to holiday parties or parties in general,
Yes.
there's two camps, right? People who go to enjoy them, or people who go to enjoy them by being cynical about them and the behavior of people at
Mm.
these events,
Interesting.
right? So like I wrote down some things that really bother me and at these things, and I wanted to talk to you guys about it and see how you guys would handle it and or how you feel about them.
Okay.
Right. So number one is when someone's talking and giving a speech, right?
Yep.
People who are talking in the background.
I don't like that.
Oh, I hate
And
that.
I
it's
hate
so
that.
rude.
Very rude.
And so so how do you guys handle it? What do you do?
Usually
Are you
ignore
a
it.
shusher?
Nah, usually ignore it unless it gets so disruptive.
So you've never shushed before?
Well, you got to start with the stare, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
you
know,
got to do the
then you
look
make
back.
the obvious
Do the
stare.
look
You know,
back.
yep,
Yep.
yep. You got to go there, and then that jump to like, hey,
Yeah,
shh,
that's tough.
is a big jump. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's one, right? And
Yeah.
another one is this happened to me a few times last week. Well, they give out hors d'oeuvres,
I'm
and
familiar with
heaven
hors d'oeuvres.
forbid if it's anything ever like chicken satay or with like peanut sauce or shrimp or whatever, because people eat these things, because it's free. So it's like, and then they come up to you and they close talk you and they're right in your face and you can
Yeah.
just smell the food.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
offensive.
Yeah.
And so how do you, I always think, I'm like, hey, easy, take a step back.
Yeah, I can't do that.
Yeah.
I knew two people in my life who were close talkers, and it's forget about them eating anything. Just the close talking in general. It's so disruptive to your just to your being. It's so disorienting that they're that close to you. I don't like it.
But do you give any grace to someone if they're a close talker and you're in a crowded room and they don't, or like if
If
they're
I'm
close
on the-
talking and there's
If
not
I'm on the
crowded.
subway or the elevator, then yeah. But if I'm in a room where there's no reason to be that close, it's really just it's it's disturbing in a way.
I
It's like
actually shot somebody in an elevator recently.
you're back to the shushing.
Yeah, well, I'm saying I call out behavior a lot, and including the whole breath thing. I don't think it's appropriate.
Yeah, I think that's hard.
Some people are just close talking. I don't think they're aware. They're
Can't you?
self-aware.
Do you start with backing off first, or do you
Yes,
go right to
you
like
always.
back up?
Well, hold
just-
on. We're
you
talking
take some-
about
take some
I'm
steps
talking
that
about
they
when
don't.
they actually eat something. I mean, that the close talking only obviously amplifies it. But if it is that chicken satay at you know, at the bar, and they want to talk to you about, you know, Stranger Things, with Josh, right? I have no bid. I have no interest.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I would.
Yeah.
I'd go to the bathroom. Yeah, I think I
Yeah,
would.
I
Get
don't
out
think
of
I've ever
Dodge.
done that. I don't think I've ever said something to
But you
someone
guys have
of like,
smelled food on people's
of
breaths at
course,
these things.
of course, of
I
course.
mean,
There's
I
people
don't
with
understand.
just bad breath
No,
in
actually,
general.
I just had an idea. I'm gonna have an event where I hand out hors d'oeuvres, and they're only gonna be hors d'oeuvres that when you after you eat them, you have really like just pungent breath.
It's going to be nothing
See
but
what happens.
garlic cloves,
It'd be a great
fried
party,
garlic cloves.
and do it in a very small room.
Exactly. No ventilation.
That'd be hilarious.
All right, and the third thing, which happened last night, is I was at this party, and this fancy party that my friend got us invited to, and you know, I would try and be like Barry Sanders at those things, but I never quite pull it off. Do you know what I mean when I say that?
No, you try
So
to
Barry-
bob and weave.
No, well, Barry
Doing
Sanders,
spin moves?
who's I think he's the greatest NFL running back in the history of the game.
One of.
Whenever he scores, I think he's the greatest. But whenever he would score touchdowns, he would never celebrate. He would just hand the ball
Give the
Ah,
ball
yes,
back.
yes,
Right.
to the
yes.
referee because
Yeah.
he's been there. He's like, I'll be back. No big deal. Right. So it usually wildly fails when I'm that mentality. But last night they were serving caviar. And do you guys eat caviar?
No, I don't like it.
No, not regularly.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Had it.
I've had it. I don't like it.
It's not my snack.
Not
Yeah.
yeah. Well, nor do I. Right. I didn't grow up eating caviar, but when it's free, it's pretty good. You know, so they had this little like beautiful little tortilla things where you put the caviar on top of,
Yeah.
and these multiple dishes of like honey and mustard and Dijon, whatever the heck else. And there's one woman gets in front of the counter where they're serving it, right in the center of it, and basically commandeers the station, making 8 to 10 different things.
Wow,
And so I'm like, this isn't gonna work. I mean,
that's
this is-
aggressive.
and everyone's really dressed up because like whatever, it's holidays, and I'm like, I'm gonna, you know, she's kind of like commandeering this. She's not running this event. So
Yeah.
there was another spoon in the caviar bowl.
Mhm.
So I started using that, and I was just literally taking caviar with one spoon, putting it on a tortilla, and giving it to people. I must have given out like 7 to 8, right, to people I knew who wanted some.
Yeah.
Well, she's still doing this, and then she goes over to me, and she's like offended, like she's annoyed. And I'm
What'd
like,
she say to you?
she's like, you know, I'm almost done. You know, if you could just wait a little longer. I'm like, well, there are 2 spoons in here for a reason.
Yeah.
This
There's
isn't a
2
single
spoons.
serve thing. I mean, there's a line of people behind you. They're starving.
Yeah.
Right?
Good for
She-
you for
She
saying
didn't find that funny, but I was, you know, and then obviously the best part of that was we got to talk about her for the next 20 minutes when
Yeah.
we sat down.
Yeah,
They
I
always
do
find
like
my
that.
favorite
Best part.
parts.
That's
That
the
is definitely the best part. When something goes on like that annoys me, I always have to remind myself this is going to be great to talk about. So
Right.
I should be happy that it happened.
You instantly establish who the Frank Burns is in the situation. I always go back to that mash is you got to have someone to kind
That's
of
right.
point out, make fun of. And yeah, it brings the rest of the group together. It's so she became quickly the Frank Burns of the situation and hopefully you took advantage of it.
Yep.
I
Probably
love
not a
those
great
moments.
life lesson,
Otherwise,
but
it's just another boring event. I want something to happen like that. I actually want,
Yeah, of
like
course.
chaos.
yeah.
Yes, you do, but to a certain extent. Not that it's
Yeah.
overwhelming chaos. You just want normal societal minor chaos.
Right.
I like that as well.
Yeah. You need a little drama. Yeah, is good.
Yeah.
But speaking, when you mentioned hors d'oeuvres, it reminded me of a story when I used to work at the bank. You could call to the lunch area to find out what's on the hot menu, right? And there'd be lunch ladies there that would make the food, whatever. And so they would always have an hors d'oeuvre bar, and they would say on the hors d'oeuvre bar today is whatever. And one day they said on the hors d'oeuvre bar is Chinese hors d'oeuvres. And we realized that
They said that?
they knew what hors d'oeuvres were like in theory, but when they saw it written out, they didn't realize
They
that
didn't
was
realize
the
that's how
actual
it's
word. So
spelled?
they saw Chinese
Oh,
hors.
that's cute.
We thought that was really funny.
That's
So,
hilarious.
yeah. So that's why I wanted to tell you.
Where's the wars?
And the last thing is about these things. Everybody's always doing great. You know,
Oh,
everybody's
for
always
sure.
fantastic, and
It's
like
like a
I don't
Christmas
like to
letter.
be. It's just it's like, come on.
What-
I don't want to
and-
hear about how you. I'm not doing great. I'm not doing great.
Is that
I'm
what
like,
you
"You're
want?
not?"
You go, hey, how you doing? It's just a colloquialism. It's really not meant for someone.
No,
When
no,
you say,
no.
hey, how you
That's
doing?
when you're walking down the hallway and you see somebody. Hey, how are you? Great. This is when you're in engaged conversation. Everybody's
All right,
talking
all
about how
right.
grateful they are, and it's
Do
just
you want
it's just
someone
so
to go
cool.
into to their life miseries?
Well, if it's interesting, yeah.
That's a good
No,
question. If someone, so you're at a party, each of you, and
No.
someone says, "How are you doing?" What is your
It's like the
your
holiday
answer?
cards, Josh. That you don't like. It's the same
no,
thing.
no. How are you doing doesn't mean that you have to start bragging about yourself. It
Everyone
all,
does that though. That's my point.
okay, that's fine. I
They're
don't
not
like
bragging. They're
I
just
don't
saying
like
how happy
that.
they are. And I'm like,
Okay, but that's
come on.
fine. It's quick and it's
And they're
dirty,
just
and then you
happy.
get
And
into
like, why do you
other
have a
stuff.
bruise under your left eye, right? I mean, stuff like that, right?
Yeah, right.
What do you
But I
want
think
on the
my go-to right now would be, I'm doing good, but I'll tell you, I'd be glad when 22 is over. It's been kind of a tough year. I think I would say something real like that.
That's
Like,
fine.
oh, if that was like, oh, really? Like, and I'd probably go, well, the markets, the Packers, like, and then you're off and running on
See,
a
that's
conversation.
even that from you, David. That's interesting.
Yeah, I think
Okay,
that's
but
right.
what do you want? Where do you want me to go? Yeah, I'm all right. My bursitis is acting up. Is that what you want to hear? You want to hear all
No,
that stuff?
I'd like to hear like what's the worst thing?
Colonoscopy could have
What's the
gone better.
worst thing that happened
Yeah.
to you this year that you recovered from?
That's fine. That's a good conversation to have.
Okay,
But
I'm
when
gonna
you
start
ask
asking you
someone,
that.
how are you doing? I don't expect them to go into a whole Larry David, everything that's shitty about you and your life. I don't expect that. If you listen, if
I'm
someone
not.
wants to
Listen,
do that, and
I'm not a small talk. Josh, you love your small talk. I just can't do it.
yeah, I can see that. Yeah, yeah. You're not a small talk.
If it was a person, a friend who I haven't seen in a while, how are you doing? I think I'd want to just be great. How are you? I think I kind of add a little bit to it to like start the
But
conversation.
he's talking about a party setting. Am I wrong here, Omar?
Yeah, I'm not. You're not engaging with people that you know super well. Necessarily.
Yeah, you're talking about a party setting of like.
Yeah,
hey,
I could
hey,
see.
Oh.
Yeah, you're standing, you're holding your
Yeah.
drinks, right? You've
Yeah.
got hors d'oeuvres. Someone comes out, how you
Can
doing?
we
I
actually
think
make
I'd
a
still-
pact right now that when we meet someone over the holidays at a party, you at least ask that question once to somebody?
You always. What do you?
No. What's the worst thing that's ever happened to
Oh,
happened
that
to you
question.
this year that you've recovered from?
Sure, I'll make a pact, and I don't have to be held to it. That's no problem.
Oh, wait, what's the pact again? Where
You
someone
simply
asked,
ask that question to one person
what's the worst thing that's happened to you in 22?
that you recovered from. Yeah, well, you hope
That
they
you
hope
recovered from. Okay.
All right.
Hopefully, they don't say that their mom died or something. That would go
Well,
dark.
see, that's the problem. You're going to open up Pandora's box.
We'll say okay. Besides death,
Oh, you have to say besides death.
Yeah. You have
Now,
put
now you're
caveats
getting.
on.
Now
but it
it's
will get an
dicey.
interesting answer. The failures are much more interesting than everyone's doing great.
That's true. I agree with you. I like to hear misery.
What's the worst thing that's happened to you? But don't make it dark. Don't make it dark. Like
Mike,
lighthearted.
what's the worst thing that's happened to me this year?
Oh, wait, we didn't ask you.
I thought you already
Yeah.
told us the caviar story.
You lost your friend who doesn't like we didn't start the fire.
Yeah, right.
No, actually, you want to? I didn't tell you guys this. I saw him last week.
And
No.
Yeah,
and
and I saw him at a lunch in DC, and I did another mea culpa. Is that
This
me?
is-
Is that wait? Is that the person who married?
that's
Cody?
Mia Farrow. Mia Farrow. You're thinking of Mia Farrow.
Okay, mea culpa.
Yeah,
did a mea culpa
Mila
with him.
Kunis married Ashton Kutcher.
Okay, mea culpa, Mia
Right.
Farrow.
There you go.
And I think he bought it.
Okay, good.
Well, not now if he listens to this because you
Well,
Yeah,
my
right.
sincerity was authentic.
Well, you said he bought it.
yeah.
Well, it was.
Meaning you sold him a bag of goods.
I was nervous when I was talking to him, but he seemed okay. Yeah.
All right, good. I'm glad you patched things up
That's
Yeah.
because you threw him
asked
under
him-
the bus.
So
And
you
by
went
the
up
way-
to him, you went up to him and said, "Hey, listen, I just once again want to say we're sorry for
No,
talking
actually,
about
something
your
happened
Billy
at this
Joel.
event, and tell me if this is inappropriate behavior, okay? Somebody had a 20, 30 person lunch, okay, at the restaurant in Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
I got there 5 minutes, pretty much on time, right? People were just beginning to enter. The restaurant already had all the food, buffet style, laid out on a long table.
Okay,
It's chicken wings, it's pizza, it's
Yep.
burgers,
good stuff.
okay?
Yeah.
Now, what do they all have in common, all those things?
Fat content.
They all are served warm, like David's phone call to the cafeteria.
Yes.
You know, when he was in 5th grade or whatever. So my point is, after about, I don't know, 5 minutes,
Yeah, but
10 minutes,
aren't they on a hot plate?
cold.
It's not on a hot plate?
No hot plates. And people are there for a few hours.
Good. That's no
and
good.
The food's out there. So I'm like, I see people eating it. I'm like, I'm not eating that. So I go to the bar. I go, hey, can I have a pepperoni pizza? It's going to go on the check, right? They go, yeah, we'll put it on here. And I have a fresh pizza served to me. Now, is that inappropriate behavior?
Yes. 100%.
Why?
Order the exact same food that they're giving you over the buffet?
No, but it's cold. The pizza is cold.
You're giving a big F you to the host.
Yes.
That's what you're doing.
Ask the people there to heat it up. Not get your
that's what you're doing.
One was
going, I don't want your peasant food cold. I'll get my own
and
food.
And the burgers,
thanks,
you'd want to have reheated burgers?
No one wants to, but it's what society dictates. You take it, you suck it up, and you eat it, and you walk out.
So you wouldn't have ordered anything fresh?
No.
Well, you're nuts. And by the way, there was a line of people behind me who wanted a slice. I had to order another one.
I'm sure they did want a slice.
Ruined the party.
Yeah. Ridiculous.
I ruined the party?
You probably did. Yeah, you got to stick with the rules when you've accepted the invitation.
No, the rules, they're always fucking you in these places. Always. Always.
Unbelievable.
All right.
It's completely true.
All right. Well, I'm minding the clock. Josh, you want to go with your topic?
Yeah. So this blew my mind, by the way, and I'm wondering if it's going to blow your mind or if I'm just very naive. So I had a good friend of mine over the other day. He's a dentist by profession. And we're just catching up, and he's telling me a story. He had a patient that came in, and the patient said that they saw another dentist, and the dentist told them that they had Omar, are you still there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. The dentist said, you have 10 cavities. Okay?
Yeah.
And that person said, okay, thank you, and then left without doing anything, and then went and saw my buddy, made an appointment with my buddy. And he said, he looked at her and and said, no, you have no cavities.
Really?
Yes. And I said to my buddy, I'm like, wow, that's really crazy. What a crazy story. He goes, you know what? That's a really common story. That's incredibly common. I said, what do you mean it's incredibly common? He goes, you would be surprised how many dentists falsify cavities just for revenue. And they're just filling teeth just because they can. And I'm like, really? Are you serious? He goes, that's not even the only story he has like that. He has another one, a guy that came in, this dentist told me he had 6 cavities. It's like, thanks, I'm going to go get another opinion. And my buddy looked at him, he had none. So he told me, I said, what do you think? How many dentists out there are doing this? He goes, his estimate, a third.
Overstate.
A third of dentists falsify cavities for revenue. And I'm like, this threw me for the biggest loop when he told me the story, because I don't know about you guys, but I have there's certain professions and services where you just have blind trust.
Of course.
Because you kind of have to. I don't know what the hell's going on in my tooth, my mouth. Maybe a tooth hurts. That's fine. I could understand that might be associated with cavities. But to go in there and your dentist to tell you, if I went in, I've been to my same dentist for a ridiculous number of years. And it's someone I trust. And if I went in and he told me, hey, you have 4 cavities, I would be shocked. But I wouldn't go to another dentist. I'd be like, oh my God, I have 4 cavities? Really? I don't feel anything. All right, fill them. That's what I would say.
It's never been on 60 Minutes or something.
That's my point. It's never been a 2020 or a
there's very
Dateline.
few experiencers that are as miserable as going to the dentist and having your teeth drilled.
Not to get the gas. If they had a spokesperson for the gas, I'd sign up. That makes the whole thing pleasurable.
But I said to him, I'm like, I don't understand how this goes on. He goes, you have to think of it like this is a business, and it's people's livelihood, and just they want to sell product, and they're just some people who just cheat to get revenue, and they think,
that's terrifying.
Isn't that amazing? And my mind was blown. And then I started thinking what other professions do I just trust blindly where probably this is going?
Car mechanics?
Well, car mechanics you don't trust blindly.
Yeah,
car mechanics are cheats.
Right.
You have
Every
to have
time I
one
go
that
in
you
my
trust.
car, my tires need to be changed. I could have just bought new tires.
And I know nothing. I know nothing about my car. They could be like, "Oh, you need a new whip and spoke." I'm like, "Okay, well,
How about
put in a new
financial
whip and spoke."
advisors?
I don't know what the hell that is. Just do it. You know,
Financial advisors.
financial
Financial
advisors.
advisor.
Yeah, right.
No, I don't trust them either. But my dentist experiences, I moved to St. Louis. They said, well, I was like root canal, cavities. Like it's like I'd never seen a dentist. I've been going to see my dentist in Madison every 6 months religiously. But I did have a tooth in the back that was actually it was a big problem. And I don't know how my dentist in Madison missed it. So I thought, all right, fair enough. I think I had a bad dentist in Madison and a good dentist here in St. Louis. But
Or maybe it was the opposite.
well, I don't know, but ever
Yeah.
since I've been at this dentist, is constantly pushing the teeth whitening and the night guard. They want to constantly push that night guard. It's like I would rather
Yeah.
have problems with my teeth later than not be able to sleep because I've got a mouth guard in or some trash on my face.
Right.
But then here's the kicker: is after every time I go to my dentist, they're always follow up with emails asking me to do a survey. And please recommend them on Facebook, Instagram, like aggressively trying to get me to like say something on Facebook.
Yeah.
I feel like, yeah, this makes me feel more like a business than a medical profession when they are pushing the reviews and stuff like that. So
you don't want your doctor selling you undercoating.
Yeah, I don't need cross-selling, right?
Yes, you don't want that. Just
No.
I trust you to tell me what's wrong with me if there is something wrong, and then you have a solution for it. Don't sell me a whole bunch of other crap that I don't need or that was so disturbing when we had that conversation. I'm like, my God,
That's
if you
really
can't
disturbing.
trust your
I'm gonna
dentist.
ask my brother-in-law. He's a dentist.
There you go. Ask your brother-in-law because I'm really curious. But that blew my mind. So I'm glad you guys. Well, I'm not glad, but I'm glad that you guys have the same reaction because I thought, am
Who
I in the
cannot?
dark? Am I
That's
in the
insane.
Yeah, it's insane, right? Can you imagine 10 cavities and you have none?
Well, think of all doctors. I mean, every service that you come in for, it would, could you overprescribe? I got hit in the eye one time in college, and I went in to this retinal specialist, and you know what he recommended? Retinal surgery. Like
Retinal surgery.
Yep,
Yeah.
it was like, you've got do I need it? You don't need it, but you could have a torn retina, separated retina if you don't let it go. Well, it's possible maybe everyone could. I didn't want to do it. I ended up getting, and it was on both eyes, by the way.
Oh my God.
It was like I hit one eye, and he recommended I get surgery on both. And I've always wondered,
that makes no sense.
did I need that? That was so painful. But I wonder if it was like, look, I need pay off my new boat.
Did you get it done?
I got both done. Yeah,
You
it's the
did.
most painful thing I've ever experienced.
And it was probably a huge bill for him.
I'm sure they poured liquid nitrogen in my eye to seal up the tears I had.
Oh my God.
Which is why we have floaters. That's, I guess, the result of like small tears in your retina. He went in on both eyes. He corrected whatever they were, and it's fine now, I guess. But I always wondered, was that sort of well, you're here. I've got machines.
Right.
I have time.
Right. It's a revenue, just like, and that's the disturbing part. It's like you just don't know because none of us know what the hell's in our bodies, and they could tell us something and like, you need this or you need to do that, and you just have to. 100% of the time, I go, okay.
Yeah, I do too.
No problem. I'll do it. Whatever it is, do it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's an interesting idea of shopping for your dentist.
Yes.
Don't you ever you just either if you know somebody, someone recommended, and you land and you stay, right? Like I've never changed dentists.
Never changed dentist. That's exactly right. I've never changed my dentist. Now I've had one cavity my entire life, so it's not like he's jobbing me on cavities. But he did try to do like a gum. He's like, you should have you have a little bit of recession in your gums. Maybe you should do this gum surgery where we bring it down. I'm going, do I need to do that?
Yeah.
Actually, Josh, you're a little gummy.
Yeah. No, I'm not. I'm not gummy. That's the problem. I need more gum. I brush too hard, but I do know I brush too hard. I brush like a psychopath.
So they want to do surgery because your gums are too low.
So I have receding gums because I brush too hard.
Okay.
And so this was a while ago, and I brush with a regular toothbrush, and I just like go to town, and I brush for so long too. By the way, there's something wrong with me. Like my wife and I will start brushing at the same time, and she'll be done, and I'll keep going for another minute and a half.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, right. And so my dad just says, you should probably switch to a like an Oral-B, like a power toothbrush.
Just let it do its work. Yeah.
Yeah, let it do its work. I'm like, okay, I'll do that. And so I did, but I still catch myself like using it like it's a normal toothbrush where I'm digging in, even though it's a power toothbrush. I can't help myself. I just can't do it. And so he's like, well, maybe you should have this procedure where we bring your gums down. I'm like, really? Do I need to do that? That sounds ridiculous.
Yeah, the day that you start to push back against your doctor, like I'm not doing that. It's like a maturing moment where you know your own body and you can say no and just accept everything.
But at least I can see my gums if it's on your inside.
Kyrie Irving.
Yeah.
Right.
I've never actually seen the Earth round. Those pictures could be doctored. Who knows?
But a cavity is almost in a way, it's like the perfect crime, because it's like, it's not a big deal to get a cavity filled.
Right.
You know what I mean? And at the same time, you're like, all right, well, whatever. I don't feel it, but it's not even worth it money wise to get a second opinion on a cavity.
Can't be victimless though. You're drilling into your tooth.
Yes. Well, I asked him that. So I asked my buddy, I'm like, so does that hurt you? Like if they fill a cavity where you don't have a cavity? He goes, yeah, it's not good. You don't want to do that. It's perfectly healthy tooth. There's no reason to do that.
Yeah. Save it. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So that was disturbing. That was a very disturbing thing that I discovered that he told me about.
That's a good public service announcement once
Isn't
again
it?
Of the podcast. Yeah. Beware of gouging dentists, I guess.
Yeah. Well, look, Omar just got the anal bleaching. I don't think he needed that. That was unnecessary.
No.
Right, Omar?
No.
Oh, it was necessary? You're saying it was necessary?
Yeah. That's a double negative. I'm not entering this conversation.
That's a good move.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we've covered, and we're just about the time that Omar's got to go to Pilates class. Is that what I am hearing?
Is that amazing?
Yes.
What a life you lead.
Pilates.
Yeah. Up in Aspen
It's
and
Saturday.
Pilates. Of course.
Saturday Pilates.
Saturday, you got to be in Aspen for your Pilates class. That's right.
That's normal run of the mill Middle Earth type or Middle America, not Middle Earth. Middle Earth doesn't make sense. Middle America.
Now you're back in Lord of the Rings.
That's right.
Anyway, well, thanks everyone. I don't know. Are we going to have another episode before the end of the year? We might.
Maybe, yeah, because we're still a couple weeks out from the end of the year, so maybe we'll have like a New Year's Eve episode.
Yeah. So this
Something
was
like
your
that,
holiday
New Year's.
special.
Yeah, This was the holiday special.
This will be probably repeated every Christmas and Hanukkah and
like Elf.
What holiday do you celebrate, Omar? Is there a Muslim equivalent for Christmas?
No, Eid, but it's not during Christmas.
Okay. Well, I don't know what to say about that. Anyway, this was your holiday special. Hope you enjoyed it, and we look forward to talking to you next time. See you later, everybody.
Oh, yeah.
See ya. So you're supposed to smell you after I go see ya.
Smell ya.
There you go.